This is my 5th take. Nothing goes right today. I'm a vlogger, and as a vlogger, I need a versatile camera. And I recently bought this Canon M6 camera, and I thought that that would be just the answer. Sadly, it wasn't, because I go through a lot of different environments where it's a lot of low light, a lot of really bright light, a lot of fluorescent light, and a lot of other things. Even though you can't really complain about the picture quality or the external mic or the look of it and the size of it, it's just the ISO only goes to 6400 whenever you're in movie mode, and that's just not enough for me. I put it back in the case and I'm selling it off again. Am I going back to my Canon G7X? For a while, yes I am, because I have to save up for a new camera. And in my opinion, the Canon G7X and the Sony RX100 Mark V is probably the best vlogging cams you can get, because they're so versatile. They both have flip-up screen. The color profiles in both of them are awesome. One has Canon, the other has the Sony picture profiles. And actually the built-in mic is really good when you're not having wind issues. The only thing is that I am what you would call a cinematographic style vlogger. I like everything to look beautiful and pretty, and I do a lot of reacting to music and a lot of other stuff like that. This is not enough for me. So I found the Fujifilm X-T20, and I actually did a review of that in Berlin with my friends. You can watch the movie right here. It's an awesome movie, go check it out. Berlin is an awesome city to do reviews and montage stuff in, so really you should go check it out. It is still too expensive, and also it is a better photographer cam than it is a vlogging cam. Even though that the vlogging is fine and it shoots in 4K, it's just better for photography, and I need something that's better for video. Right now I am shooting on the Sony A7S Mark II, and I really like that camera. I like the picture profiles. I just like the look that this camera brings. So I thought, well, why don't go to the Sony A6000 series? And that is what I did. So I went out to my good friends at Goodbuy.dk, which is a photography store here in Copenhagen, and they lent me this camera. It should have been the A6300, because that's pretty much all I need, but this is the A6500 because that was all they had home, and they were really, really nice to me, lent it to me. Why this camera? Well, let's start with all the faults that it has. It doesn't have a flip-out screen. That's a little annoying, but with the Fujifilm, I actually kind of found out that I quite like not being able to see myself, because it kind of forces my eyes up all the time. It's a good thing the Casey Neistat did with the glasses, so he can all the time just looking at himself. He doesn't have to look at the lens. That's a really, really good trick you did there, Casey. I admire you for that. Also, the autofocus in the Sony is a little difficult to handle. I just spent an hour on YouTube trying to figure out how to do it, and I think I figured it out, and actually it works pretty good now. So let's see if it works as it should. The good thing about the screen though is that I can put the mic on top instead of the side, as I did with the M6. Even though I don't really like the look of this, it actually makes it way easier. Just put it in the bag, take it up again, put it in the bag, take it up again, which is the key as a vlogger. You need something easy, and of course this is the easiest thing, but I have to make it a little difficult for myself. So it's really easy when you can just put it on here. Also, the picture profiles in here, I can now match everything with the A7S, because I use the A7S for montage stuff, and I can use this for vlogging. I can have the exact same picture profiles, which is really, really awesome. So what I am gonna do is that I'm gonna go out for the next few days and test this out. Different environments. I have a band practice. I have some where I have to go into some low light stuff. And in the end, I will see if it is the G7X or if it is the A6500 here, but it will be the A6300. So without any further ado, let's just go out. I am on my way now. I am out on the skateboard. And the plan is just to go get some shots of something, trying this camera out. You don't know this, but this camera is actually new and I want to try it out. And then also I am trying this sun filter, which is a little weird, so I'm seeing if that actually works. I just looked at the footage. It looks like it works. It looks like I'm still in focus, which is awesome. I am gonna go out and start doing some montage, trying out this camera, and then I'm gonna go out to Christiania, so see you out there. with my Rode Radio Micro on with a dead cat on. So that's why I don't have any wind issues. This camera has its mics on the front instead of on the top, which actually would probably mean that there won't be that much wind noise. So I would actually like to test that out to see if it has less wind issue than the other ones with the mic on the top. So now it is only the mics built in the camera. And actually I think if I hold it like this, then wind comes from the back and there shouldn't be any problem. If I do it like this, maybe we should have a bit of a problem. It's gonna be interesting to see while I see this footage. I play really shitty today. Fortunately, Jonas, who is sitting behind the drums, plays really good.
Thank you, Tim. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Tim.
And then we have Alex. No, not really. So Alex and Jonas are talking about what is on with the band, what is on with the future. The thing is right now that we only 3 people, but it is the new jazz, the heavy guitar, the heavy drums, and the heavy singer. Right now it is a break, and then we're gonna pick up where we left off. Everything is going great, man. Yeah.
Home with broken hearts, and I'm free. Free falling. Now I'm free. Free falling.
Now down at high voltage. High voltage is a nightclub and it's usually very dark. Right now it's bright because there's fluorescent light on, and I also use that, but usually during the evening it's very dark. With this camera you should be able to just crank up the ISO and then get a good result, because you have the S-Log, but also you have the Sign 4 profile, which is also pretty good in the dark. And I am gonna recreate what it usually is during a night, and then we will see. So hang on for a minute. So this is actually how it usually is down here. Right now, I'm right next to the stage where there's a lot of lights. I just want to make sure that I was in focus, so I had some light to focus on me. But if I kind of walk down here where the light is a little more red, it should start darkening up a little. Now this camera should just start cranking up the ISO, so you will still be able to see me. It will get a little grainy, but that doesn't matter because I can just kind of color correct myself out of that. And also, doesn't matter, it's a vlog. The most important thing is that you're able to hear my voice clearly and you're able to see my face. This is how it is. Normally there's like 100 candles lit down here, but I don't want to light 100 candles for this. This is the dark test, and I just did one before this and it actually looked pretty good. So I will say that it definitely works in the dark, and that's a good thing because that's an important thing for me. Now we come to the next thing. There is one thing about the Sony cameras that is not that good, and that is that the battery size is actually on the level with a GoPro. So I've only been like vlogging a few times and already my battery is almost done. So I have to always have spare batteries on.
I've been running around these last few days testing out this camera. My conclusion is right now that it's actually pretty awesome, but I have to go look at the footage before I can say anything. It's been a bit messy. You've been jumping from days to days, and also I've been doing some montage stuff. The dark is pretty good, but it is not the A7S, and also there's a bit of a price difference, so maybe that's why. So this is the end of this camera, and I'm gonna jump back to the interview.
So I have an issue now. The issue is that I actually now want to buy the A6500 and not the 6300. The reason is the new menu system that they use on the 6500, and also the 6500 has a touchscreen. It is not the best touchscreen, but it is still a touchscreen. Also, I read that the autofocus is actually quite better in the 65 instead of the 63. So I think I'm gonna go for the 65 if I wanna buy one. That brings me to, I should really just stay at this, because this is easier, it is more handleable. The picture quality on the Sony is different, but it is not that much better. The picture on the M6 though was way better, way sharper, way more clear. But I just like the 6500. I like having two Sony cameras. Also because it means that when I'm doing pro jobs, and I am doing pro jobs, I can actually match the picture with the A7S to the 6500 because I can use the same profiles. And the 6500 does slow-mo, 120 frames per second. And as you can see in the video, that it looks really nice. And also it doesn't crop in the same way as the A7S does. Speaking about the A7S, the 65 or the 63 or the 6000 Sony A is not a small version of the A7S. The A7S is way better. It makes a way better picture, and also it's way better in the dark. There's a price difference which kind of says it all also. Don't buy the A6000 series just because you think you can get a smaller version of the A7S. About the autofocus. The autofocus is a bit difficult, but I kind of figured it out in the end. On Sony cameras, the autofocus is contrast based, which means you need light for it to find you. As soon as it finds your face, it's actually pretty easy. It kind of keeps your face, and you can even move back and forth and it will keep on finding your face. But if it doesn't find your face, it won't find while you're filming. So you need to have some light to let it focus on you, and then you can kind of just keep filming as long as you want. This is a few days later, and I am actually kind of torn because I really want this camera. I want the A6500, but I was thinking about, should I just stay with the G7X? It is easier, it does a good enough job. But the thing is, me hating wind issues, and also me being able to, with a smaller cam, doing slow-mo, because I am kind of the king of slow-mo, and also that the A6500 and the A6300 both shoots in 4K, so you have that option if you want to. That just says it all for me. I'm gonna save up and I'm gonna buy the A6500 next month. It is $1,700 or near that ballpark, but it is definitely worth it. Also, I already have lenses for it, so it just seems like the logical step to do. So, if you like what I do, please subscribe to my channel. You can also follow along on my vlogs where I actually use these cameras that I'm talking about and use these things that I'm doing reviews about. You can follow them there, or you can just go out and try everything yourself, because it is a really good thing. You can often go down to a camera store and rent a camera if you want to try it out. That is what I did in the beginning, and now as I have a deal where I can kind of borrow stuff if they're home and they're not in high demand. So, without any further ado, have a very, very, very nice week.